Yes, hello and welcome to the Any Given Sunday Australia podcast divisional previews, episode 6, boys. We are flying through. We have the AFC West, possibly the hottest so far. Everyone's been hottest so far at Danny Webb, AGSAU.
I didn't think we could get any spicier, but we're getting spicier per episode. Like, how hot are these going to be ranked by the time we get to episode 8? Like, what are we... Like,
8 of 8.
Nice.
At Charlie Sick, just dropping some absolute bombs, literally 4 seconds before we come on.
Always dropping bombs.
Yeah, it's good.
But AFC West to me is, I think it's the most exciting division for the season because I think it's the most uncertain, and everyone who talks about it says it's a gauntlet. Whoever comes out of that is going to have the crap beaten out of them. Like that, there aren't guaranteed wins. I think
A lot of
for
AFC
anyone.
North about it. Like, just, you know, you're going to battle to get out of there.
Yeah.
And I love it because straight away you're like, the Chiefs? Are they not the Chiefs? Have they dropped off since they're 40-6 down in the Super Bowl? Like, there is so much to talk about.
They're just like that dynasty that lasted forever. What was it? None of them. None of them have lasted forever. You got to remember that. They end.
Patriots lasted a fair while.
No, but they had a real lull in that. Like they went 3 and then they were battling to get back and win.
Yeah, like 10 years.
Yeah, that's
9
right.
years.
So they.
Ask the Bears. They love 9
It's just
years.
worth remembering dynasties do not last forever, and that is what we have to think about.
But surely we're not saying that Patrick Mahomes has fallen off the cliff yet.
Andy Reid.
And Andy Reid.
Still Andy Reid.
Andy Reid's still the coach. Patrick Mahomes is still Patrick Mahomes, except some people call him Patrick Mahomes because of some photos that have...
Let's not talk about that. Right?
Well, are we doing this now? Is that what, or do we do like?
We probably should follow the structure of this.
I think we should follow the structure because it feels like we are rapidly straying into our hot take territory.
Yeah.
There's a lot of hot takes to be made.
Anyway, next week, AFC East. All right, the best additions. We'll start off with the Chiefs because we've already kind of spoken about them.
Yeah, you got to start off with the Chiefs. They've actually brought in Josh Simmons, which was their first round pick. He was pick 32. He's going to help solve some of the O-line issues for the Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes got sacked 36 times last year, and he's going to come in as like the blind side for Patrick Mahomes to help try and protect him. He tore his patella during his college career, but apparently he's all good to go for week 1. But it's definitely something that the Chiefs need to do. Like, for Patrick Mahomes to be Patrick Mahomes, yes, he loves to scramble, but if he can have a little bit more protection, then he's going to be a better quarterback.
Old chalk bones ankles that he's got. So let's look after those ankles.
That's absolutely true. Also, he's made a concerted effort over the last 2 seasons to strategically scramble. Like he's not an Allen or a Jackson who running is part of their game.
No.
He has taken it out and used the run game strategically as a weapon to surprise the opposition who've decided that that's not part of his tendency anymore.
Yeah, you especially see it towards the end of the season.
That's right.
You know, playoff times, he really brings it out as a weapon, even when he's injured.
After he's told everyone he's hurt his ankle. I can't go on.
And just runs
It's
half
like
the field.
He's like James Brown. James Brown when he would collapse in a concert and someone would bring out the cape and put it over him, going, "He's done. He can't possibly go on." And then he's back again.
Gets you every single time.
Is he really gone?
They've also brought in Jalen Royals, which is a wide receiver, rookie wide receiver that they brought in quite late. Pick 133. Yeah. So everyone's like, oh, yeah, he got picked up in the 4th round. Is he really going to be anything? They're really hoping he's going to be stealing the draft, and he's actually come out and shown out in training camp. And we've seen it with the Chiefs in the past. They don't necessarily need the best wide receivers. They just need a wide receiver, and Patrick Mahomes is probably going to find them.
We've also seen... Oh, that sounds...
Well, yeah. One thing they have been missing, and you look at the numbers over the last 2 seasons... since Tyreek Hill left the Chiefs, is down the field targets. They don't have the explosive plays. It's probably why they're in so many one-score games last season. Can they win 10, like every single one of their one-score games again? That's a question. Those games are close because they're not getting those big explosive plays. So, yes, he hits his targets, but what they're missing are those down-the-field targets that I will say, since they didn't have Tyreek Hill, arguably the best receiver in the league for a number of years, or at least in contention for that title.
Most
it has,
anyway.
definitely, and most children. And but I think most fertile receiver in the league. But I think that has been part of the narrative of, are these Chiefs the dominant Chiefs that they were necessarily? I think Royals is a great pickup. I think he has huge potential.
You're saying that they don't have that wide receiver one, but do you not think Xavier Worthy, who was the fastest person in that draft class or ever, which I'd like to see him do a foot race against Tyreek Hill. That'd be sick.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
Allowing with weight for age, weight for age handicap.
They have, I don't know if you've seen the new Kingdom come out. They did speak about their lack of production downfield and the fact that other teams have, worked it out. They set records. Tyreek Hill, 200 yards in a game every week. Like, since then, obviously losing him, big deal, but teams have worked him out and how to keep him in that pocket and keep him to short passes. They've still been able to win, but they're obviously much tighter games.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to trust anyone to win games of football, actually to win games of sport, it's the Chiefs. They're the most winning...
Games of life.
But they're the most winning sporting team, I think, in professional sport. Like, their winning percentage over the last 3 or 4 years is higher than, I think, any other team in sport, like actual top-level professional sport. So, yeah, you do trust them for that. But I do, that's one of the big question marks over them is, can they put together a receiving core that gives them that length? I do think Xavier Worthy is and the Bills could have had him. I'm actually happy with who the Bills chose instead. But I think they have to know they've got that this season, or it's going to be that conversation again of no one believes in the Chiefs. They can make the Super Bowl and no one believed in them last year.
There's one thing that they've brought in, right? Worked at the Jags, worked at the Raiders, worked at other teams that I'm sure he's been at, and he's your favourite player, I'm pretty sure, of all time, Danny.
You forgot he was with the Birds as well.
The Birds?
He was with the Birds. Gardner Minshew. Minshew Mania is going to Kansas City. And I love this.
Doesn't matter what wide receiver room you've got. You've got Minshew
Mania. You've got Minshew Mania coming in and back up, break both of Mahomes' ankles, and you still do all right with Minshew Mania. He'll come in there with his long locks and his big mustache and his mullet. What a man. What a man Minshew is.
What a man as well. But I also think Minshew a little bit he's not quite in the Kyler Murray, the Kyler Murray realm of this ratio, but his helmet to body ratio is a bit out. I think his helmet looks a bit big. I'm not saying that's everything.
Locks. Have you seen the locks that he's got on?
Is that why he's had to expand it to accommodate the hair?
You can't be shaking it like that without a big helmet. All right, we've spoken a lot. We're 20 minutes
in. We got to keep moving. We got to keep moving.
The Chargers bringing in Najee Harris. I like
fireworks enthusiast Najee Harris.
Oh yeah, he got hurt, didn't he?
That's right. Eye injury, non-football injury from fireworks in the off season.
Is this multiple fireworks injuries before this season? Surely, I feel like I've seen another article that wasn't just Najee Harris. I feel like there was a rookie as well who's had a firework injury.
We'll have to give that to our research department.
Yeah, that's it. Johnny. Yeah. Johnny, nice. There's definitely been fireworks I know Pierre Paul when he blew his hand off, kept playing, but yeah, besides the obvious eye injury in our room and theirs, I like Najee. He was a bull. They didn't really use him towards the end of his career at the Steelers, but he's still, I'm pretty sure, I'm going to throw it out there without being fact-checked. I reckon he had 1,000 yards each of his first 4 years, which is huge as a running back, and he's just a ball. I'm probably wrong, but
he came out of Clemson. He was the best running back by a long way in that draft, and he is a great running back. He's still not old, and fireworks and eyes aside, his body's holding up pretty well. He's had a couple of little dings here and there, but nothing too bad. The thing is, he has carried the ball a lot. He's had a lot of carries over that time in an offensive scheme that I don't think was as running back friend. Well, it was an offensive scheme.
Wilson,
that's right. And I feel like the Steelers, I was going to say an offensive scheme that's not offensive friendly. Do you know what I mean? I think he's in a place.
Cook, man. Let him cook.
Yeah. But I think the Chargers, they really want to pound the rock. They really want to run the ball well, have an O-line that is making moves that help their running backs. They want that to be the foundation of their game. it's surprising given how good their quarterback is at throwing the football.
Yeah.
But I think
they really have changed that. He was throwing it every play 2 or 3 years ago. Not so
numbers
much
are
now.
right down.
Yeah.
Well, and then they've also picked up Omarion Hampton in the first round, and he's running back as well. So, like, they're leaning into moving the ball on the ground rather than through the air.
Congrats on saying that name. That was good.
Thank you.
That's really good.
Thank you.
They did move on from J.K. Dobbins, who banged straight into the next one. He's gone to the Broncos. But he's not the biggest pickup that we have at the Broncos this year.
No, it's our friend Jeremy Crayshaw. He's come across as the punter.
Yeah, picked up. Drafted as a punter. So we've had a couple of Australian punters drafted in the last few years, and he's genuinely a friend of the show. Like, we speak to him quite a lot. He's doing so well, and it's so good to see another Australian over there doing really
Well, as
really
we know, the Americans are saying there need to be rules against so many Australians getting drafted. It's such a great story of how well the Aussies are doing over there. And there's a genuine competition for punter at the Broncos. I think they also might have picked up in a trade Matt Hawke, who at one time was kicker for the Bills. He's a bit of a journeyman, but a frustrating kicker. Like, he's a guy that can do the job, but he's not a great. Sorry, punter, not kicker. Sorry, he can do the job, but he's not great, and he will let you down a few times a year. That'll cost you yards. That over the course of the season, it will add up. So I think for Jeremy, it's a good opportunity for him to show what he can do.
Pretty good things that Jeremy's not necessarily well out in front, but he's the number one at the moment. He's definitely number one on the chart currently. So huge.
Great news.
Love that. And the Raiders, this is a very, very interesting year for the Raiders. They've brought in head coaches, they've brought in running backs, they've brought in quarterbacks. Like, it's going to be a transformational year that could be. Are we believers in the Raiders yet?
Well, they completely changed their defense as well. They've added 5 new linebackers, like a couple through the draft, a couple through free agency. And then, like you said, drafting Ashton Genty, pick 6 for a running back. For the Raiders to do something like that, they're finally making moves where they're like, it is time for us to put the offense first and let's actually score and try and win some games. Bringing in Geno Smith, Pete Carroll, like, they've already had that connection. It's a smart thing for the Raiders to do. Tom Brady's now an owner. Like, and
rocks it too.
Yeah,
everywhere he's rocking the Raiders.
He's on the field as well. He's walking up and down the field during practices and preseason.
Like, the whole place has just got to be a little bit more of a buzz that he's around.
Well, one of the best, if not the best player QB of all time.
Yeah.
And he's on the field supporting your team, being a part owner, and actually he's physically bought in. He used his money to buy him, but he's actually bought into the Raiders as well, and like has belief in them. And they've gone for a completely new revamp. It could work.
There's 2 things there. Like, the Brady of it all, I think, is really interesting and can genuinely help. Like, genuinely help the culture. And culture is the other thing I wanted to say is the love for Pete Carroll. And there were Raiders players who have been through a pretty rough few years since, was it Gruden left, was forced to leave, and then it's just been
Emailgate.
Emailgate. It's been turmoil since then. But veterans at the Raiders who were so excited that Pete Carroll was coming, that love the culture that he brings. And Geno Smith, I think, is a perpetually underrated quarterback. And giving him, and you see it in the preseason games, and he was my first pick in my dynasty, Ashton Genty is a terrifying.
He ran over someone. It was so good.
Yeah, he's going to put some people in hospital. And all of that together, I think, that makes Geno Smith's job easier when you've got a guy who's going to be running 100 yards most weeks. Like he's so strong and of a class above. It's a great use of a high draft pick to do something interesting. That offense is going to start to cook, and I think it's an exciting time to buy in at the Raiders.
When you said we'll go into the players to watch, we don't actually have one, but I've got one. You say that they've added on the defensive side. You've still got a bloke called Max Crosby there.
Oh,
so
what a beast.
And I reckon he's just been quietly going about his business. Like, he would be stoked with how everything's looking at the moment.
And well paid. And he's one of those...
Primed, one of the ones that's been through hell and back.
That's right.
And stuck around.
And stayed when he didn't have to. Got paid handsomely to stay, but also it just means he's happy. And his work rate is insane.
Yeah.
But he didn't do like a Myles Garrett and say, I want out. and then ended up
No,
staying.
just signed.
He just signed.
He was in the background, signed. Oh, shit.
Classy guy.
He
Classy
signed
guy.
for
Classy.
$6 trillion, but he signed.
And
yeah.
their tight end, we got Brock Bowers.
Big Brock.
Yeah, like you got to keep an eye on him for his second year. Like he was incredible in year one.
Oh,
Yeah,
Brock
Brock Bowers is, quite possibly at the end of this season, we think he's the best tight end in the league.
Yeah.
Like he's absolutely got that
Could be
potential this year.
comfortably. not just like broke records, obviously. And I think the addition, I reckon I mentioned it in one of the other episodes, with Ashton Genty coming in, they're just going to complement each other so well. And Geno Smith has to just, if he can just keep doing, I reckon he will come in with a chip on his shoulder as well. Like whether he was a little bit kicked out of the Seahawks and, we don't really want you, go elsewhere, gone to somewhere that want him. I reckon the Raiders could be...
Let's not forget that Geno Smith as well in this preseason game, some fan was chanting something at him as he walked past.
They had the Jamarcus Russell thing at him, and he gave him
he flicked him the double bird, both hands up. And I'm sure he got fined for it, but it was as he was running out the tunnel, stopped, looked at a fan, flipped him the double bird. That is a man who was bought into the Raiders and is supporting himself, who believes in himself and believes in this Raiders.
And so, just for those that don't know, Jamarcus Russell, a first-round pick, first overall, I think, fail. So being compared to him, a bit of a kick in the tweeds.
Yeah, but I think he's proven, he's absolutely proven that he belongs. And he can win games. Yeah. Like, he can win games that are close. He's absolutely got it.
Yeah. Before we do go on to that, backed up there as well by players and coaches to say, yeah, did you see the sign? Like, I would too. Like, Grouse. So it just feels like a real good culture there at the moment.
Which has been a long time coming.
Oh, yeah.
A long time coming.
All right, the Chiefs. Is there anyone there that I've got one that kind of sticks out, but is there anyone else that kind of sticks out that there's not really been talked about?
The Chiefs players to watch?
Yeah, or not talked about.
Not talked about. I don't know about not talked about, but one of the stories of the season is Travis Kelce. Mm-hmm. Has to be. And I know it's been talked about, but
he's talked about everywhere.
Yeah, but I think
himself too.
I think it's a conversation that he was not the Travis Kelce who is a Hall of Fame quarterback, arguably in contention with Gronk as best quarterback. Tight end of all time. But the absolute safety blanket when in case of emergency break glass person for Mahomes to throw the ball to, he wasn't that. He was dropping catches. He wasn't hitting his marks, and a lot of the Kelce magic was what he created. Just it wasn't about routes that you knew were going to happen. Yeah, it's about he would just weave some magic and be somewhere. And that wasn't there. That's right. And that wasn't there last season. And I know that he has said recently in podcasts and things like that maybe he was a bit distracted by his star girl. What was it? What were you saying? He was spending more time in Hollywood than practicing.
Well, so we saw him in Happy Gilmore too, and he was acting, he was doing ads, he was doing commercials. His podcast, good on them, ended up being the number one podcast in the world for a little bit there. But he was doing so many other things, and also he is dating probably the most influential music person of this generation, Taylor Swift.
Is he? I didn't know
that. Please. So there's been a lot that's going on. He was even part of the Eras tour. He got up on stage in a tuxedo and danced in front of thousands and thousands of people at Arrowhead. It's just crazy. He's just been doing so many other things apart from football. And he said this year he's going to come back and focus on football, which is a scary thing for the Chiefs to have, is a informed Travis Kelce, but we're yet to see it.
Yeah, it's interesting. I don't begrudge anyone any of that if they rock up and do the job on the field. That's it. Right. You can do all of that.
But it sounds like he's kind of noticed that, hang on a minute, I was getting a bit carried away.
He said
that's a really convenient thing to say on your podcast. It's a convenient thing to say to explain the fact that you under-delivered. And a lot of people, the year before, his production wasn't as high, but he turned it on as soon as the playoffs started. It was this is when Mahomes and Kelce's season starts, is in wildcard round. But he didn't turn it on for the playoffs this time around. He
went missing in the Super Bowl.
He went missing in the Super Bowl. Couple of catches in the AFC Championship game, but not in a way that he was breaking Bills' hearts. I think it remains to be seen if he actually still has it. It could be he's just not what he was. And if I had to put a hot take out there, I'll say, yeah, the conversation at the end of this season is it's time to hang up the boots, Travis Kelce. You aren't what you were.
That was like, did he not flirt with the idea of retirement? Like
Flirt every year.
Yeah, but if he wasn't, if they had a three-peated, I reckon we would have been done. He would have probably hung up his boots. Then they didn't get the three-peat, got embarrassed by the Eagles in that Super Bowl, and now he's come back with more of a chip on his shoulder. And he's, like you said, maybe he's throwing excuses, or maybe he's just realised that he was completely distracted, and the game's evolving. If he's not evolving with it, it's evolving without him. So he probably needs to step up and actually put in a little bit more effort.
All right. To play devil's advocate to a Bills fan, 2 names for you. Pacheco, Rashid Rice. They were very much, Pacheco came on in the back end of last year. Rashid Rice missed most of the year. You only really got Travis Kelce. We had Worthy in there as well, but he was only a rookie receiver. Like, a lot of attention can be put to Travis Kelce. These guys coming back in and making a presence again, does that free him up and just give him that little bit of, maybe there's not so much eyes on Kelce this year and he can, those 2 names coming back. I think they're 2 names that haven't been spoken about enough.
Yeah.
Rashid Rice especially. He could be huge when he comes back.
Yeah, I would agree with that. That's going to make a big difference. And Pacheco he doesn't run like anyone else in the league. There's something different about the way that he does it. He is difficult to stop. It's like it's
violent.
He's violent, and he's like he wants to eat the opposition. Like he's chewing them up in a way that it's a terrifying thing to scheme against. But to suggest that other teams weren't keeping an eye on Travis Kelce,
I'm just saying, but having those 2 extra names in there, if you go all out Travis Kelce, then Rashid Rice is going to kill you.
Yeah, I think
missing those names.
I think that's that's possible. I don't think that's the story. I think the story is he's actually slowed down, and I think he's actually not what he was.
As a 33-year-old, I'm feeling him. Don't worry, I'm still trying to play footy on the weekend, and I feel his pain.
And we've told you time and time again, you need to hang up those boots.
It's great that you're dating Selena Gomez and your podcast is going great, but you've got either you play or you don't.
Yeah. All right. Again, a lot of the Chiefs, but the other couple of teams, Bo Nix at the Broncos, does he have that second-year slump, or is he going to be all right?
Well, he surprised all of us, and
the Bocane.
Yeah, we were so addicted to the Bocane during last season because he came out, and we weren't really expecting much from him in the Broncos, and then he ends up taking them to the playoffs. Like, it was incredible what he did in that rookie year. Will he have that sophomore slump? Let's hope not, because I find him a really exciting quarterback to watch. And if the Broncos are good, it makes this division even harder again, and makes these teams have to fight even more to get out of this division.
I got a little psychological reason why he's not going to have a second-year slump. And it was a huge achievement for him to get the Broncos to the wild card last year. But apart from one great touchdown throw in that wild card game, he looked like a kid. And grown-up defenses, like he had his ass handed to him in his first playoff appearance in the NFL. And so I think he went into the end of the season going, I did well to get here. But he saw how far he has to go. And I think it was clear. Like, sort of in a way that the swagger that CJ Stroud took out of his rookie season, I don't think Bo Nix has shown that. I think Bo Nix learned a lesson that he still has a long way to go.
The head coach will have a lot to do with that as well.
Yeah.
I think Sean Payton's turned around and going, mate, pull your head out your ass. We've got a long way to go.
Yeah. But good. Like, if he can,
because
take
they did
that
struggle.
loss.
I think they did struggle against winning record teams. Obviously dominated some of the other teams to get him into that point, but still incredible.
But if he can take that loss and, light that fire inside his belly and then become a good second-year QB, not everyone has to have a sophomore slump. I know it's our favourite thing to talk about, but not everyone has to do it. He could turn around that season and, continue to improve.
Just a player to watch at the Broncos is Mims, who's a receiver, does a lot of special teams. But he was handy in so many ways, and there were so many games last year where he made plays under pressure, big plays that kept them in contention or got them winning games. And I think he's an underrated part of that, of just the whole mix, both on special teams and on offense. He's worth a game or two a year in what he adds. He's a gadget player, and I think is underestimated by the opposition as well, who are worried about other targets at the same time.
That's 2 weeks in a row we've mentioned a player named Marvin. That's pretty huge. Quick, just 30 seconds each. The Chargers defense, better or worse with Joey Bosa gone?
Well, they were the number one defense, weren't they, last year with Bosa? So you're subtracting him. Are they still going to be the same? Like Jim Harbaugh gets the most out of his defenses. We've seen that. I don't know. I think they can't be. I don't think they're going to be the number one defense again without Bosa. Bosa creates too much of a hole. Like, he's too big of a player.
A lot of people talk about Bosa and the fact that his availability wasn't great. The injuries have held him back too much. But last season he played the most games that he has in a number of years. Like he showed enough help. He played, I think, 8 or 9 games last year. And as a sample size for those 8 or 9 games, he had the highest production of any defensive end in the entire league. Now, he didn't over the whole season because of the games that he didn't play, but what he was doing, despite coming back from injury and all of that, he is so elite. It's almost underrated, the difference that he makes. So I think that's a big hole for the Chargers to fill.
So both yes, that they're worse off without him. But Jim's going to do Jim stuff, and they'll still be right up there where the whips are cracking. Some hot takes. We've already had a couple. Travis Kelce's washed and will be retired by the end of this season.
Yeah, that's my hot take there.
Yeah, nice.
So if that's the case, I'm going to jump on board with that, and that's that the Chiefs don't actually win this division. I used our good friend AI to have a quick little look on the inside of, break down what everyone's looking at on the interwebs and all of that sort of stuff, and they've got the Broncos taking out this division.
Ooh.
And I back it. I'm going for the second-year QB, Bo Nix, to take the Broncos and take out this division.
Wow. I do have a hot take, but it kind of coincides with our overs-unders. So do you have another one?
I have another.
Told you this is a hot. This is a hot set. It's a spicy little set.
If we get this spicy, like, how do we get any spicier? Oof.
I think there is a chance that at the end of this season, the conversation about Justin Herbert changes for the worse.
Ooh.
I think people have been Justin Herbert true believers for a long time, but I also think the results, like, people talk about him as having the same potential as a Burrow, as an Allen, like that. He is discussed in those conversations. He has yet to show that consistently. Part of that is he's just been murdered because he hasn't been protected. But I think by the end of this season, we are asking the question, is he not an elite quarterback?
Mm-hmm. All right, well, I got another one that I've just come up with, purely because I know Keenan Allen's back and Lad McConkey is a lad. So he's our lad. He'll be doubled down. They're going to go lean back into the passing game, and Herbert will be back.
Despite them incredibly improving their running back game.
Well, what was 4,000 yards? That's what we said with Williams, didn't we? So I reckon he'll be back up into 4,000 yard territory.
Are you having a budgie bet?
Yep. With whoever wants to take it.
I'll take it. But what does that mean? Like, so obviously you've got to do an episode in your budgies, as we've. Thank you, Budgie Smuggler.
We're going to be doing nothing but episodes in our budgies in the end.
So you'll have to do an episode in your budgies if he doesn't get 4,000 yards. What do I have to do? Because for our Caleb Williams one, you had to wear the Caleb jersey, which is probably more of a punishment. So
yeah, well, you like the Chargers, so I think I have to find something, maybe Dallas or something that you're going to have to wear.
Well, that hurts.
Yeah, you on? You in?
Yeah. I'll wear a Dallas cap. No more.
All right. So my real hot take will come in these overs unders, but you're the man who's running it.
Yeah, so the over-unders, the Raiders over-under is actually sitting at 6.5 at $1.66. So favourite to go over 6.5 with all their additions, coaches, QBs, running backs, everything that they've got, their defense that's improved. I'm just going to start this one off that they're definitely going over on that. Sorry, these odds are brought to us by our good friends at Unibet. Powered by Unibet. Thank you very much, Unibet.
I'm surprised for a franchise based in Las Vegas that the bookies don't have more faith in this team. Like I really,
it's quite low.
$1.60. That's very low.
No, but I think
they could trip over and get.
I think they're taking overs easy, like just easily.
Yeah, so I'm going the overs, but this is where my spicy one comes in, that they're going to win the division.
What?
The Raiders will win the division.
Wow! All right, I like it.
That's some habanero right there. That is some real spicy chip.
Spicy.
That is.
I don't know what it's paying, but
we will look it up and we'll clip this and quote it with what they're paying to take
Is
out the
Brady
division.
coming in as QB3 that I don't know about? Is that like...
He's got some inside
Real
goss there.
Michigan, I'm the fourth quarterback kind of stuff.
Yeah.
He'll finish by playing.
Wow, that's big.
They'll
That
win.
is big.
So, overs.
Blown away
Yes.
by that. So the Chargers over under is sitting at 9.5, and they're paying $1.95 to go over. So whether they go over or under that is pretty much
That's
even.
the third. That's the third.
That's
Because
the
usually you
third.
start at the bottom. Nine and a
I
half
started
seems
at the bottom.
high for the third.
I've got to go.
Well, I'm going to back him with the 4,000. I've got to say yes, don't I?
Yeah, it's like me and the Bears last
Yeah,
week or the week
stuck.
before.
Overs for me. They're all going overs.
Well, so for me,
Well, I've predicted that Herbert's not...
you said he's washed.
Yeah, I'm not washed. I'm saying he's not...
Your
He's not
favourite
considered
word is
nudging top
he's
tier.
Clapped
you know.
out like the rest of the
No, Yeah, I'm going to...
You have to say unders.
I have to take unders, yeah.
You have to. 9.5's a lot of games to be on the fence.
I'm also going unders because I said the Broncos are going to take out the division, and the Chargers can't have a 10-win season. Like, because realistically, the Chiefs
This could be
are
the
still going to be up there. So for
NFC
me,
North 3 teams into the playoffs.
100% it could be. Because the NFC North aren't doing that. We already know that. We've
This
already
is the
covered
AFC
this.
side.
We've
though,
already
so-
covered the episode. We've already covered that episode. Yeah, so I'm going unders, and then we move on to the Broncos, which their over-under is sitting at 9.5, and it's $2 for them to go over. And, you know, if I've got them taking out the division, they're getting more than 10 wins. And at $2, that's quite juicy.
That's very juicy.
Thank you.
9.5s. Yeah. Well, I don't know. I'm not getting much out of your one black eye, what you're thinking.
Oh, I think the Broncos are going over.
You reckon that?
Yeah, I believe in Bo Nix.
I reckon
and I
that's...
believe what they've got.
You said it last week that, you know, it just feels like 9.5's a great number. Could be 9, could be 10.
But I think they're going over. What did they
It's
do
almost
last
like the
year,
bookies
though?
know
What did
what
they...
they're
They got 10 last year, didn't they?
8.
Did they get 8 last year?
They can't get 8 and get into the playoffs, did they?
Watch me. 10 and 7.
Yeah, so 10.
I said 10. Is that right?
Yeah, you're right.
Oh, I
Yeah.
was right.
Yeah.
Anyway,
the host-
So I think they're
So we're all gonna go
going
over?
to do
Okay.
better. I think
the
they
host was
improve.
wrong.
Yeah, don't leave me like that. I'll go overs. They've gone overs for all 3.
So 4 teams are making it from the AFC.
Yeah,
Well, overs at 6.5, but I said they're going to win.
and then the Chiefs over under is sitting at 11.5 at $2. So are they a 12-win team still? Are they not?
Unders.
Wow, that was quick. No discussion
It's a
needed.
Bills fan. It's like me saying.
It's not just just
No.
wishful thinking. I think
You also said that Travis
I'm-
is done and
yeah, I am not
Andy's cooked.
I'm just they did incredibly well to have the win-loss record that they had last year. Like it was a really incredible effort.
10, 1.
Was this the
10
was this the-
one-score games, and that's what it gets back to for me. They might have some more explosive players. They may improve in certain areas. I don't think that they are reliable to win 10 one-score games again this year. I just don't think they can do it, and I think that the gravity that was there last year will actually bring them down this year. So I think they're going under.
Yeah, I've got to go under just because of my big, bold Broncos prediction that I've got going on.
We set traps for ourselves, don't we?
Oh, so bad. Like, I'm really tripping over this. I can see them as an 11 or a 12-win team still, but I'm going to have to go 11 and go unders for this one.
I'm the same. I could see them going unders quite comfortably, but for the sake of going all 4 overs,
You just got to go with
you've
it.
got to go with it.
It's got to go
But
with
that's, I can still see them, and Andy Reid, and that's a last little point I want to talk about for this division. Andy Reid's still got it, I think. Just watching that Kingdom show, he's just such, like, he does so much for that team, and, like, he's still the man. But Andy Reid, Sean Payton, Jim Harbaugh, Pete Carroll, is this not the best 4 coaches in a division of all time?
Some big dick swingers right there.
This is the press conference division. This
Oh.
the clips coming out of this division are going to be the best, and there's going to be great stories.
I just love that we get those guys. They're all playing each other twice. Like, it's just going to be a mastermind of coaching the whole season.
And it's going to be, absolutely. It's going to be, you hear players talk and they say division games are different. Like
They're worth 2.
Yeah, and they're also like the stuff that works on everyone else doesn't work in your own division. Like it's It's so situational and so specific.
But that's the division games like Andy Reid. If you remember a couple of years ago, they were doing like the do-si-do.
The ring-a-rosy.
The ring
The
around the
ring-a-rosy.
rosy just so they could... Because everyone's like, going, what the fuck are you doing? But you work that in the division game because they've seen so many games
They
before.
had people talk about the ring-a-rosy. They had another move that I think they actually did in a Super Bowl where they had a dance move. Their O-line pulled a dance move that the Temptations put. Like, they all did like this spin around and shifted position right before the snap. And it was just like, you guys are just something else.
That's what you got to do in a division game.
Yeah,
because they've
it's
seen
the
so much
Jackson
tape
5
in
up front.
Perfect. All
I
four
mean?
teams going overs, and the Raiders are the ones that are winning the division. It's a hot take this year. Join us next, AFC East.
Not familiar with it.
Don't know much about it. We're gonna try our hardest to make it a 30-minute episode, but we do have Charlie talking about the Bills.
I'll
so,
behave myself, I promise.
Yeah. Join us then, and Danny, quick.
Go Birds.
Nice.